Welcome, listener. Here are 5 lessons of many lives. Many Masters by Brian L. Weiss, MD. A few years ago, I found myself at a crossroads, grappling with anxieties that seemed to have no clear source. A friend, noticing my restlessness, handed me a worn copy of Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian L. Weiss, MD, saying, "This might open your mind." Skeptical but curious, I dove into the 1988 spiritual classic, which recounts Weiss's transformative experience with past life regression therapy through his patient, Catherine. The book's blend of psychiatry, spirituality, and reincarnation challenged my worldview, offering profound insights into life's purpose and healing. Below are 5 key lessons from this bestseller that reshaped how I approach fear, relationships, and personal growth. Lessons number 1: Healing can come from exploring past lives. Weiss discovers that Catherine's current fears and phobias, like drowning or choking, are linked to traumatic experiences from past lives, revealed during hypnotic regressions. By processing these memories, she finds relief from symptoms that traditional therapy couldn't resolve. This lesson suggests that unexplained emotional or physical issues may have roots beyond our current life, and exploring them through unconventional methods can unlock healing. In the dimly lit office of Dr. Brian Weiss, a Miami psychiatrist steeped in the rigors of science, an extraordinary healing process unfolded that defied conventional psychotherapy. Many Lives, Many Masters chronicles how exploring past life memories through hypnosis not only alleviated Catherine's debilitating fears, but also transformed the lives of other patients, revealing the profound therapeutic potential of revisiting the soul's journey across lifetimes. This narrative delves into the concept that healing can emerge from uncovering past life traumas, illustrated by vivid examples from Weiss's groundbreaking work. Catherine, a 27-year-old laboratory technician, arrived at Weiss's office in 1980, crippled by anxiety, panic attacks, and phobias that had haunted her since childhood. Her fear of water, choking, darkness, and death rendered her emotionally paralyzed, with nightmares and insomnia compounding her distress. After 18 months of traditional therapy yielded little progress, Weiss turned to hypnosis, a tool he had used to access repressed memories. What emerged was astonishing. Under trance, Catherine recalled not childhood events, but past lives, each revealing traumas that mirrored her current fears. In one session, Catherine became Aranda, an 18-year-old girl in 1863 BC, drowning in a flood while clutching her baby. The vivid memory of choking on salty water explained her lifelong fear of drowning, which vanished after the session. Another life, as Johann, a boy in 1473, saw her throat slit during a raid, accounting for her choking phobia. As a sailor named Christian, she endured a hand injury in a naval battle, and as an Egyptian servant, she was confined in dark, sacred spaces, linking to her fear of enclosed places. Each regression peeled back layers of trauma, and as Catherine processed these memories, her symptoms dissipated, freeing her to live with newfound peace. Weiss, initially skeptical, witnessed Catherine's transformation with awe. Her fear of water dissolved after Aranda's recall, and her nightmares of collapsing bridges ceased. By the end of their sessions, Catherine radiated happiness. Her psychic abilities blossomed, and she used her insights to comfort others facing death. This profound healing spurred Weiss to explore past life regression with other patients, yielding equally remarkable results. A Jewish housewife from Miami Beach, tormented by anxiety, recalled being raped by Roman soldiers in Palestine after Jesus' death, a trauma that fueled her present-day fears. Reliving this life under hypnosis released her emotional burden, restoring calm. An artist, plagued by unexplained pain, uncovered a life tortured during the Spanish Inquisition, and processing this memory alleviated her suffering. A restaurant owner, unable to cross bridges or tunnels, discovered a past life buried alive in an ancient Near Eastern culture. Confronting this trauma erased her phobia. A young physician, haunted by water-related anxiety, recalled drowning as a Viking, and a television executive resolved deep-seated guilt by revisiting a tormented life in Florence 6 centuries ago. In each case, the vivid recall of past life traumas, facilitated by hypnosis, led to dramatic clinical improvements, diminishing fears, and enhancing quality of life. These examples underscore a central premise. Unhealed traumas from past lives can manifest as psychological or physical symptoms in the present, and revisiting them can unlock healing. Weiss posits that the soul carries memories across lifetimes, and fears or patterns may stem from unresolved experiences. By accessing these memories, patients gain insight, release emotional blockages, and break cycles of suffering. Unlike traditional therapy, which often focuses on childhood, past life regression reaches deeper, addressing the soul's broader narrative. The healing power of this approach lies in its ability to reframe suffering as part of a learning journey. Catherine's regressions revealed karmic debts and lessons, guided by master spirits who emphasized love, forgiveness, and growth. For Weiss's patients, understanding their symptoms as echoes of past lives fostered acceptance and empowerment, reducing the fear of death and instilling purpose. While scientific validation remains a challenge, the tangible outcomes, patients freed from decades of torment, speak to the method's efficacy. Through Catherine and others, Weiss's work illuminates a path where healing transcends the present, tapping into the soul's eternal story. These stories of transformation invite us to consider that our deepest wounds may have roots beyond this lifetime, and by exploring them, we can find not just relief, but profound liberation. Lessons number 2: we are all connected across lifetimes. Through Catherine's regressions, Weiss learns that souls travel in groups, reincarnating together as family, friends, or even adversaries to learn and grow. They master spirits. She channels emphasize that relationships are opportunities to resolve past conflicts or deepen love. This teaches us to view our connections with others as purposeful, encouraging forgiveness and compassion in challenging relationships. Catherine's hypnotic regressions. Our souls are intricately connected across lifetimes, reincarnating together in groups to resolve karmic debts, learn lessons, and grow toward divine unity. This narrative explores the concept that we are bound to others through a timeless web of relationships, illustrated by vivid examples from Catherine's past life memories and the spiritual wisdom imparted by the master spirits. Catherine, a 27-year-old plagued by phobias, began her journey with Weiss in 1980, unaware that her regressions would reveal not only her past lives, but also the enduring connections with souls she knew in her present life. Under hypnosis, she recalled lives spanning centuries, each populated with familiar figures. In one session, as Aranda in 1863 BC, she described a daughter named Cleistra, whom she instantly recognized as her niece Rachel in her current life, their close bond echoing across millennia. This revelation stunned Weiss, a skeptic trained in empirical science, as it suggested that souls travel together, playing different roles in each other's stories. Another striking example emerged when Catherine, as a young boy named Johann in 1473, was killed by a warrior she identified as Stuart, her tumultuous lover in the present. The violence of that past encounter shed light on their rocky, passionate relationship, hinting at unresolved karma. Similarly, she saw Weiss himself as Diogenes, a wise teacher in 1568 BC, imparting knowledge about symbols and triangles, a role that resonated with his current guidance as her psychiatrist. In another life, she recognized Edward, a pediatrician friend, as her father Perseus in 1536 BC, their warmth in that lifetime mirrored in their present-day rapport. These connections were not random. The master spirits, speaking through Catherine in a state between lives, explained that souls reincarnate in groups to work out debts and lessons. "We choose what life we will have," a master declared, emphasizing that relationships are opportunities to learn love, forgiveness, and balance. In one life, Catherine's grandfather appeared as a nurturing horseman, contrasting with her current father's emotional distance, illustrating how souls return with varying degrees of growth. The masters taught that unresolved traits, like greed or anger, carry forward, burdening future lives until addressed, and that loved ones often return to help or challenge us. Catherine's regressions painted a vivid picture of this interconnectedness. As a Spanish prostitute named Luisa in 1756, she lived with a man whose identity she withheld, yet the emotional weight suggested a familiar soul. In an Egyptian life, she prepared bodies for burial, working alongside others whose presence felt significant, though unnamed. Each life revealed recurring figures, family, friends, lovers, shifting roles, but bound by purpose. The Master's wisdom underscored this. We are all rowing the same boat, a metaphor for shared destiny, urging cooperation and compassion. Weiss's later work with other patients reinforced this lesson. A Jewish housewife recalled a Roman soldier life where her tormentors were linked to present-day adversaries, suggesting karmic resolution. An artist's Inquisition-era torturer mirrored a current strained relationship, and a physician's Viking crew included souls tied to his modern family. These cases affirm that our connections transcend time, each encounter a chance to heal or grow. This lesson of interconnectedness carries profound implications. It suggests that every relationship, joyful or painful, is purposeful, a thread in the soul's eternal tapestry. The Master's call to practice helping another resonates here, as recognizing our shared journey fosters empathy and dissolves fear. Catherine's newfound peace, as she embraced these connections, and her ability to comfort others facing death, exemplified this truth. For Weiss, it shifted his worldview, making him more intuitive and loving, aware that no one is truly separate. Through Catherine's story, we see that we are not isolated beings, but part of a vast, eternal network of souls, meeting again and again to learn and love. This understanding invites us to approach each relationship with reverence, knowing that the stranger, friend, or foe beside us may have walked with us through countless lifetimes, guiding us toward the divine. Lessons number 3: Fear of death dissolves with spiritual awareness. The book reveals that death is not an end, but a transition to another state of existence, as Catherine describes peaceful interludes between lives. The Master's messages, like "We are eternal," help Weiss and Catherine overcome fears of mortality. This lesson encourages embracing life fully by understanding death as a natural part of an eternal journey, reducing anxiety about the unknown. Brian unveils a transformative truth through Catherine's past life regressions. The fear of death, a universal human burden, can dissolve through spiritual awareness of the soul's immortality. This narrative explores how understanding our eternal nature, as revealed by Catherine's experiences and the wisdom of the Master Spirits, liberates individuals from mortality's grip, with vivid examples illuminating this profound shift. Catherine, a 27-year-old tormented by phobias, entered Weiss's Miami office in 1980. Her fear of death so intense it fueled panic attacks and nightmares. Raised in a conservative Catholic family, she believed in a judgmental afterlife of heaven or hell, a doctrine that amplified her dread. Traditional therapy failed to ease her symptoms, but hypnosis opened a portal to past lives, reshaping her perception of death. As Aranda in 1863 BC, she drowned in a flood, yet after death, she described floating peacefully among clouds with her baby and brother, a serene state that contrasted with her earthly terror. This experience, repeated across lives, whether as Johann, killed in 1473, or Christian, a wounded sailor, revealed death as a transition, not an end. The Master Spirits, speaking through Catherine in a superconscious state, crystallized this lesson. We are beyond life and death, beyond space and beyond time. They proclaimed, teaching that the soul is immortal, progressing through lifetimes to learn and grow. They described 7 spiritual planes, including stages of transition and recollection, where souls rest and prepare for new incarnations. This knowledge, that death is merely a doorway to renewal, dissolved Catherine's fear. By the end of her sessions, her terror of dying vanished, replaced by a radiant peace. She began comforting those facing death, drawn to her newfound serenity, embodying the Master's teaching that we are the gods and they are us. Weiss, a skeptic rooted in science, underwent a parallel transformation. Initially dismissive of afterlife concepts, he was moved by Catherine's vivid recollections and the Master's wisdom. His own fear of death softened as he embraced the idea of eternal continuity, reflected in his dreams where a figure named Philo taught, "Humankind is immortal, and what we are doing now is learning our lessons." This shift made Weiss more empathic and intuitive, less driven by material goals, and open to spiritual phenomena like meditation and psychic evaluation. Other patients mirrored Catherine's liberation. A Jewish housewife, once paralyzed by mortality fears, recalled a Roman soldier life and a peaceful post-death state, easing her anxiety. An artist, haunted by death-related nightmares, found relief after reliving an Inquisition-era execution, understanding death as a release. A restaurant owner, phobic of confinement, overcame her fear by revisiting a burial alive, realizing her soul endured. A young physician, anxious about drowning, recalled a Viking death at sea, and a television executive shed guilt from a Florence life, both finding death less daunting. Each patient, through past life regression, embraced the Master's message. Our task is to learn, to become godlike through knowledge, diminishing their fear by affirming life's eternal purpose. This spiritual awareness, that we are immortal souls on a journey of growth, frees us from death's shadow. Catherine's transformation, from a woman crippled by fear to one radiating joy, exemplifies this. Her ability to live fully, unburdened by mortality, and Weiss's shift toward a more loving, balanced life, underscore the power of this truth. The Master's call to eradicate fear, especially of death, invites us to see each life as a chapter in an endless story, encouraging us to live with courage, love, and purpose, knowing we are forever. Lessons number 4. Life's challenges are lessons for growth. The Master Spirits explain that each life is chosen to learn specific lessons, such as patience, love, or humility, often through adversity. Catherine's past life struggles mirror her current challenges, showing that difficulties are opportunities for soul development. This perspective reframes hardships as meaningful, helping us approach setbacks with resilience and purpose. A central teaching emerges through Catherine's past life regressions. Life's challenges are not random afflictions, but purposeful lessons designed to foster the soul's growth toward wisdom and divine unity. Guided by the profound insights of the Master Spirits, this narrative explores how struggles serve as opportunities for learning, illustrated by compelling examples from Catherine's journey and Weiss's broader work. Catherine, a 27-year-old laboratory technician, arrived at Weiss's Miami office in 1980, overwhelmed by phobias, anxiety, and a turbulent affair with a married physician named Stuart. Her fears of water, choking, darkness, and death stemmed from a childhood marked by her father's alcoholism and her mother's depression. Traditional therapy offered little relief, but under hypnosis, Catherine's past life memories revealed that her struggles were lessons carried across lifetimes. As Aranda in 1863 BC, she drowned in a flood, a trauma that explained her fear of water and taught her about loss and resilience. As Johann, killed by a throat slitting in 1473, she faced betrayal, linking to her choking phobia and her need to learn trust. Each life presented challenges, violence, poverty, isolation, that mirrored her current struggles, suggesting her soul was working to overcome fear and attachment. The Master Spirits, speaking through Catherine in a superconscious state, illuminated this truth. Our task is to learn, to become godlike through knowledge. They taught that life is a school, with challenges as assignments to master virtues like love, forgiveness, and patience. If you fulfill your debts, you will be given an easy life, a master explained, noting that unresolved traits, like Catherine's fearfulness, persist until addressed. Her affair with Stuart, revealed as a karmic reprise of his past life violence as her killer, was a lesson in self-worth and breaking cycles of harm. By confronting these memories, Catherine's symptoms faded, and she grew into a confident, intuitive woman, radiating peace and helping others face their own trials. Weiss, transformed by Catherine's journey, embraced this perspective. Initially a materialistic scientist, he learned from the Master's metaphor of a diamond within each soul, its facets needing polishing through life's trials. His own challenges, balancing a demanding career with family, overcoming skepticism, became opportunities to cultivate empathy and openness. Dreams from a figure named Philo reinforced this, teaching, wisdom is achieved very slowly, through behavioral practice. Weiss's shift to a more loving, less accumulative life reflected his growth through these lessons. Other patients echoed this pattern. A Jewish housewife, battling anxiety, recalled a Roman soldier life of rape and loss, learning to release victimhood and reclaim strength. An artist, tormented by pain, relived an Inquisition torture, mastering forgiveness. A restaurant owner, phobic of bridges, uncovered a burial alive, growing in courage. A physician, anxious about water, faced a Viking drowning, learning resilience, while a television executive resolved guilt from a Florence life, embracing self-acceptance. Each challenge, revisited through regression, revealed a lesson: trust, compassion, perseverance, that, once integrated, propelled their souls forward. The master's wisdom, that we are all in school, reframes life's hardships as purposeful. Catherine's evolution from fear to joy, and her patient's liberation from symptoms, show that challenges are not punishments but invitations to grow. This perspective empowers us to face difficulties with purpose, knowing each trial polishes the soul's brilliance, guiding us toward harmony and the divine. Lessons number 5: Love and forgiveness are universal truths. The Master's core teaching is that love and forgiveness are the highest virtues, transcending lifetimes. They urge letting go of anger and guilt to achieve inner peace and spiritual evolution. This lesson inspires readers to prioritize compassion in their actions and release grudges, fostering emotional freedom and deeper connections. Many lives, many masters' lessons, especially on forgiveness and fear, helped me release lingering resentments and approach life with more curiosity than dread. Whether you're a skeptic or a spiritual seeker, these insights offer a universal framework for growth and healing. The hypnotic regressions of Catherine unveil a timeless truth. Love and forgiveness are universal principles that anchor the soul's journey across lifetimes, guiding us toward healing and divine connection. Through the wisdom of the master spirits and vivid examples from Catherine's past lives, this narrative explores how these virtues transcend time and culture, fostering growth and harmony. Catherine, a 27-year-old overwhelmed by phobias and a toxic affair with Stuart, began therapy with Weiss in 1980, her life marred by fear and emotional turmoil. Her Catholic upbringing emphasized a judgmental God, leaving little room for self-forgiveness. Under hypnosis, her past life memories revealed love and forgiveness as antidotes to her struggles. As Aranda in 1863 BC, she clung to her baby during a flood, her love enduring beyond death as she floated peacefully with her child. This memory softened her fear of loss, teaching her that love transcends mortality. As Johann in 1473, killed by a warrior she recognized as Stuart, she faced betrayal but learned, through reliving the trauma, to forgive him, easing her current relational pain. The master spirits, speaking through Catherine's superconscious state, declared love and forgiveness as cornerstones of existence. Happiness is really rooted in simplicity, filling one's heart with love, they taught, urging the eradication of fear and judgment. They explained that souls reincarnate to resolve karmic debts, and forgiveness, toward others and oneself, frees us from cycles of suffering. We are all rowing the same boat, a master said, emphasizing that love binds us, compelling us to help one another. Catherine's progress reflected this. As she forgave Stuart and herself, her phobias dissolved, and she radiated peace, using her newfound compassion to comfort those facing death. Weiss, a scientist skeptical of spiritual truths, was transformed by these teachings. Initially driven by ambition, he embraced the master's call to practice helping another, becoming more empathic and loving. His dreams, guided by a figure named Philo, reinforced this, stating, "Religious people are right. Happiness comes from love, from faith and hope, from practicing charity." Weiss's shift to a less accumulative life and his work with dying patients exemplified love's healing power, as he forgave his own rigidity and opened to deeper connections. Other patients mirrored this truth. A Jewish housewife, burdened by anxiety, recalled a Roman soldier life of violation. Forgiving her past tormentors released her fears. An artist, pained by an Inquisition torture, found peace by forgiving her persecutors. A restaurant owner, phobic of confinement, forgave the circumstances of a past burial alive, gaining freedom. A physician, haunted by a Viking drowning, learned to love himself through past loss, and a television executive, guilty from a Florence life, embraced self-forgiveness, finding joy. Each case showed that love and forgiveness, applied to past traumas, healed present wounds. The Master's teachings, that we are immortal and must feel love and charity through action, underscore their universality. Catherine's transformation into a beacon of compassion and Weiss's evolution into a more loving healer prove these truths transcend dogma. They invite us to see every relationship as a chance to practice love, every hurt as an opportunity to forgive, knowing these acts polish the soul's eternal brilliance, drawing us closer to the divine. Summary of Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian L. Weiss, M.D. In the quiet confines of a Miami psychiatrist's office, a transformative journey began that would challenge the boundaries of science, spirituality, and human understanding. Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian L. Weiss, M.D., chronicles the extraordinary experiences of a traditional psychotherapist and his patient, Catherine, whose encounters with past life regression therapy reshaped their lives and offered profound insights into the nature of existence. Published as a 20th anniversary edition, this New York Times bestseller recounts a true story that bridges the gap between conventional psychotherapy and metaphysical exploration, inviting readers to reconsider the concepts of reincarnation, immortality, and the interconnectedness of souls. Dr. Brian Weiss, a highly credentialed psychiatrist with degrees from Columbia University and Yale Medical School, was a man steeped in the scientific method. As chairman emeritus of psychiatry at Mount Sinai Medical Center in Miami, he had built a career on biological psychiatry, publishing numerous scientific papers and earning national recognition. His life was stable, his marriage to Carol strong, and his 2 young children brought joy. Yet, his worldview was firmly rooted in empirical evidence, dismissing parapsychological phenomena as unprovable. That is, until 1980, when a 27-year-old laboratory technician named Catherine walked into his office, burdened by crippling anxiety, panic attacks, and phobias that had worsened in recent years. Catherine, an attractive woman with medium-length blonde hair and hazel eyes, was visibly distressed during their first meeting. Her symptoms, fear of water, choking, airplanes, the dark, and death, had paralyzed her emotionally, leading to insomnia, nightmares, and depression. Raised in a conservative Catholic family in a small Massachusetts town, she had endured a childhood marked by her father's alcoholism, her mother's severe depression, and a lack of parental favoritism. Despite her intelligence and professional success, including a job at a Miami teaching hospital and part-time modeling, her fears dominated her life. Her tumultuous 6-year affair with Stuart, a married physician, further complicated her emotional landscape. For 18 months, Weiss treated Catherine with conventional psychotherapy, exploring her childhood memories and behavioral patterns. While she gained some insight, her symptoms persisted, defying standard treatments. Frustrated but determined, Weiss suggested hypnosis, a tool he had used successfully to uncover repressed memories. Catherine, initially resistant due to fear, agreed after a peculiar incident at an Egyptian exhibit in Chicago, where she instinctively corrected a guide's information about artifacts, hinting at an unexplained connection to ancient times. Under hypnosis, Catherine's sessions took an unexpected turn. In a deep trance, she began recalling vivid memories not from her childhood, but from past lives. The first regression transported her to 1863 BC, where she was Aranda, an 18-year-old girl with braided blonde hair living in a barren valley. She described white steps leading to a pillared building, a marketplace with baskets, and a catastrophic flood that drowned her and her baby. The details were strikingly specific: names, dates, clothing, and sensory experiences that Weiss, a skeptic, found difficult to dismiss as fantasy. Catherine's recounting of drowning explained her lifelong fear of water, and subsequent sessions revealed additional lifetimes that accounted for other phobias. As the regressions continued, Catherine described numerous past lives spanning centuries and cultures. She was Johann, a young boy in the Netherlands around 1473, killed by a throat slitting during a raid, Luisa, a Spanish prostitute in 1756, Christian, a sailor wounded in a naval battle, and an Egyptian servant involved in burial rites. Each life provided clues to her current fears: choking from a traumatic death, darkness from imprisonment, and confinement from being trapped. Remarkably, she identified present-day individuals in her past lives, including her niece as a daughter from a previous incarnation and Weiss himself as a teacher named Diogenes in 1568 BC. The most astonishing aspect of these sessions was Catherine's ability to channel messages from master spirits while in a state between lives. These entities, described as highly evolved souls, delivered profound spiritual wisdom through her soft whispers. They spoke of the immortality of the soul, the purpose of life as a learning journey, and the importance of love, forgiveness, and balance. Our task is to learn, to become godlike through knowledge, one master declared. They explained that souls reincarnate in groups to resolve karmic debts, and that fears and negative traits must be overcome to progress toward a mystical connection with the divine. The masters also described 7 spiritual planes, including stages of transition and recollection, where souls rest and prepare for future lives. Weiss, initially resistant to these revelations, grappled with his scientific training. He researched works by parapsychologists like Ian Stevenson and Edgar Mitchell, finding substantial evidence for reincarnation but struggling to reconcile it with his worldview. Yet, Catherine's clinical improvement was undeniable. Her fear of drowning vanished after recalling Aranda's death, and other symptoms gradually subsided. She also developed psychic abilities, accurately predicting events, and even winning at the racetrack to prove her newfound intuition to her skeptical father. The sessions culminated in a final regression 5 months after a brief hiatus, prompted by a recurring dream about a snake-filled pit. Catherine revisited an ancient lifetime involving a granary and animal sacrifices, and the poet-master delivered a final message. What we tell you is for now. You must now learn through your own intuition. A subsequent visit to a psychic astrologer, Iris Saltzman, validated Catherine's regressions, describing past lives that mirrored those uncovered under hypnosis, including the sailor Christian and the Egyptian servant Aranda. For years later, Catherine remained free of her original symptoms, radiating happiness and inner peace. She no longer needed regression therapy, instead using her intuitive gifts to comfort those facing death. Weiss, profoundly changed, integrated the master's teachings into his life, becoming more empathic, intuitive, and open to spiritual phenomena. He began meditating, evaluating psychics, and experiencing vivid dreams where a figure named Philo delivered wisdom about balance, harmony, and the soul's journey. These dreams reinforced the book's core message, that life is a school for learning, and immortality frees us to live with love and purpose. Weiss cautiously applied past life regression to other patients, achieving dramatic results in 12 cases with diverse backgrounds. A Jewish housewife recalled being raped by Roman soldiers, an artist was tortured during the Spanish Inquisition, and a restaurant owner overcame bridge phobia by reliving a burial alive. These experiences solidified Weiss's belief in the therapeutic potential of regression, though he emphasized the need for scientific rigor in studying such phenomena. Conclusion: Many Lives, Many Masters is a compelling narrative that transcends the boundaries of psychiatry to explore the mysteries of the soul. Through Catherine's past life regressions, Weiss presents a case for reincarnation not as a religious dogma, but as a therapeutic tool and a philosophical framework. The book challenges readers to question materialistic assumptions about life and death, suggesting that our existence is part of a larger, eternal tapestry of learning and growth. The master's messages, emphasizing love, forgiveness, and the eradication of fear, resonate as universal truths, offering hope and purpose in a world often marked by division and uncertainty. Weiss's transformation from skeptic to advocate underscores the power of direct experience over rigid skepticism. While he acknowledges the need for scientific validation, his story prioritizes personal and clinical outcomes over academic debate. Catherine's cure and the subsequent success with other patients highlight the potential of past life therapy to address intractable psychological issues, even if the mechanisms remain unexplained. The book's enduring appeal lies in its blend of narrative suspense, spiritual wisdom, and scientific curiosity. It invites readers to keep an open mind, to explore beyond the five senses, and to embrace life's deeper meaning. For Weiss, the journey with Catherine was a call to connect the physical and spiritual worlds, a mission he continues through his work and writings. For readers, it is an invitation to reflect on their own journeys, to seek harmony, and to live with the courage that comes from knowing we are, indeed, immortal.